Okay, so explaining question number 22. First of all, they give us the equation x squared plus y squared equals 1. Okay, now this is an implicit equation. And actually, if they ask us what is this equation, x squared plus y squared is equal to what? It is equal to r, because this is the equation of a circle. Okay, now in this case, our r is 1, but this is unrelated to the question. Now we may resume. So, first of all, what is the question itself? The question asks us, find the tangent line. And the skill by itself, in its core, is not new, okay? What's new is actually finding it in an implicit equation, okay? So in order to do that, we will first find the derivative of the left-hand side. So we will follow three rules. First rule is, if you have an x, just derive it using power rule. If you have a y, again derive it using the power rule, and then add a dy over dx beside it. Finally, we have the final rule, which is find the derivative of the right-hand side. Now we may start solving the question. So 2x becomes, and this is minus 1, so power 1, we don't have to write it, plus 2y. But since we have a y, it becomes, we have to write times dy over dx equals to, the derivative of 1 is 0, because it's a constant. Now we have dy over dx. First of all, what is the tangent line? What is the equation of find the tangent line equation? Okay, equation. So the tangent line equation is y equals mx plus b, okay? Now what is m? M is the slope, aka in calculus we say derivative, so we write derivative, okay? Here, what is the derivative? Dy over dx is the derivative in this equation, so we will have to isolate it in order to get m, and by getting m we already have y here, this is x and this is y, in order to get b, which will get us to write the full answer. That being said, let's actually start solving the question. So let's isolate dy over dx after we derive the equation. 2x to the other side, so it becomes 2y times dy over dx equals negative 2x. Now we divide by 2y, it becomes dy over dx equals to what? Negative 2x divided by 2y. Now we can simplify by deleting these two, and it becomes negative x divided by y. Now what is x and what is y? They already gave it to us. Here it is. X is 0 and y is 1. So it becomes negative 0 divided by 1, which is 0 basically. So m is equal to 0, okay? And if we write the equation now, we write y equals m, which is, in this case we said 0, times x, which is again 0, plus y, plus b. So it becomes y, and y is 1. As we say, it's here. Let's just delete it. So this is y, and we can now delete it, and we write 1 here. So what we'll get is 1 equals 0 times 0 is 0 plus b, or just b by itself, which means that b is equal to 1. Now we may write the final answer. So we can write, therefore, the equation of the tangent line is equal to y equals 0 times x, which is just 0 going to be, so we don't have to write it, plus b, which is 1. So y equals 1, which means that it will be a horizontal line. And in case we graph it, so since the original equation is the circle equation, so x squared plus y squared is going to equal 1, then if we have a graph, it will be something along the lines of this. Okay, so this is the derivative of the tangent line, and this is our original equation as a circle. Matter of the fact, I believe I already have it and graphed it. Yeah, here it is. This is, as you can see, the circle, and this is the horizontal line. Okay, now we may move on to the next question, which is, it states, oh, sorry. Okay, well, I copied the wrong question. Here's the right question. Okay, so the actual question is question number 3. X squared plus xy minus y cubed equals xy squared. Okay, now we will follow the same rules. First of all, if you will find the derivative of x, we will use the power rule. Derivative of y, we will again use the power rule, but we will add dy over dx. And finally, we will have to isolate dy over dx and also derive the right-hand side of the equation. Okay? We may begin solving the question. So we will derive x squared becomes 2x plus, what is the order of operation between these two functions, x and y? It is multiplication, hence we will use the product rule. But let's not write it right now. Let's just write the product rule itself. The formula, which is fg squared, fg prime plus gf prime, and we will do it later on, minus y cubed is going to be 3y minus 1, so squared. And then, as we said, if we derive y, we will add times dy over dx, okay? Which then will equal to, again, we have two functions. The order of operation between them is multiplication, hence we will write the product rule again. So f times g prime plus g times f prime. Now, let's actually start finding the values for the product rule for each of these two equations, I guess. So let's just delete this, and now we have, this is f and this is g. Let's find the first one. Okay, let's first of all write 2x plus. Now what is f? F is x, so x times g prime is y, so we will write dy over dx. The derivative of y is going to be 1, we don't have to write it, plus g is y, and f prime is going to be 1, we don't have to write it. So that is enough for that, minus 3y squared times dy over dx, which equals 2. Now let's find the derivative of this xy squared. It becomes, this is f again, this is g, so f is x times g prime is 2y, and the minus 1 is going to be power 1, we don't have to write it, times dy over dx plus, now focus on this plus, it's important, g, which is basically y squared, times f squared, or f prime, which is 1, again we don't have to write it. So we have the full equation now. Let's just isolate it here, and dx, you can go up. So what's the next step? Next step is, okay, we can delete the brackets now that it's obvious. The next step is to find or to isolate dy over dx. As you see, we have 2 dy over dx in the left hand side, and we have 1 here. So it will be easier if we transfer this dy over dx to the other side and isolate the rest of the values to the right hand sides, okay? So first of all, we will begin with transferring 2x to the other side, okay? Again, we will transfer plus y to the other side. And here, okay, this is one value, as you can see here. This whole thing is one value, dy over dx, but since it's multiplication, it will come with all x and 2y with it. So we will transfer it to the other side because we want dy over dx to be in one side. And plus y squared, we will leave it as it is. Now, we may write it, so it becomes x times dy over dx plus, or sorry, minus 3y squared times dy over dx. Again, minus here, this entire value, we will put it to the other side, which becomes x times 2y, or we can just put 2 here, so it becomes 2xy and times dy over dx. It will equal to 2x, as we said here, so it becomes negative 2x because we put it to the other side, Plus y will become minus y, and plus y squared will be the same, plus y squared, okay? As we can see here, we have dy over, we have dy over dx here, we have dy over dx here, we have dy over dx here. We don't need to have them 3 times. Let's just take them as common factor. We write here dy over dx, and then open a bracket, we will write the leftovers. So we have x, we have minus 3y squared, and we have minus 2xy, okay? Which will equal to the same thing, negative 2x minus y plus y squared. Finally, we will divide by this value. I will just copy it. So we can isolate dy over dx by its own, which means that the final answer is dy over dx is equal to negative 2x minus y plus y squared divided by x minus 3y squared minus 2xy. And we may be able to simplify furthermore, but I believe that this is enough for now. That being said, thank you for watching.